Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to talk about the SEC, Coinbase, and Binance in these lawsuits. And I'm going to touch just a little bit on that today. There's a lot of things that you guys know that I'm focused on, and that is BNB Tiger. And many of you don't understand. And since most of you that may listen to this, you may not see what's going on in the Telegram. You may not see what we discuss and talk about and so forth, dealing with the crypto industry and other stuff that we don't talk about here on YouTube. And so when it comes to BNB Tiger, that's exactly what has taken place. So a lot of people don't understand what's going on with BNB Tiger. And I understand that, when it comes to, other people making prophecies about it, most of you have not seen that journey to where I came to that conclusion. And most people aren't listening to the videos. And just because somebody comes up with a prophecy doesn't necessarily mean that you're supposed to invest right then and there. And that's one of the things that as the wealth transfer together needs to learn. And a lot of times, you have people that are quick to buy, they want to hurry up and make a quick buck off of other Christians, because that's what it's mostly really about. When somebody does give a prophecy concerning a coin, what happens is everybody's rushing to get in. And then there's a certain amount of people that were in beforehand, and they're all cashing out. So they're transferring wealth from Christians to other Christians, right? And so BNB Tiger is this wealth transfer that everybody can participate in, right? Everybody wants a Shiba Inu before Shiba Inu. I prayed about it. I went to others about it within the wealth transfer. I got my confirmations. You don't have to agree with it. But that's okay. Just because somebody else prophesied about it, months back, doesn't mean anything to what God is sharing with me and other people that are in the wealth transfer and people that are trusted prophets and dreamers. Now, let's go ahead and get to this whole thing with the Binance lawsuit. People write me out the prophecy, and it's kind of funny because, when we talked about these things well before any prophecies concerning Binance, concerning these lawsuits, first thing you have to remember is they sued Kraken, they sued KuCoin, they sued Bittrex, then they sued Binance. And I even told you guys they were going to come after Binance anyway because he didn't buy out FTX. If Binance would have bought out FTX, there wouldn't have been a lawsuit against Binance. And if there was a lawsuit, it would have been very little, pay a fine and move on. Then they turned around and sued Coinbase. So it's not a coincidence. If they're going after all the big exchanges, Binance would have been on the list anyway, unless they would have bought FTX. Now, I know that people don't listen to every single video that I make, and they always wonder if I have, if I ever make predictions that are true or not. And, if you go back, and there's a lot of things I do say that are predictions. And when it comes to this whole thing with Binance and prophecy and all that, we didn't need prophecy to find out what was going to happen. And let me share something with you. Here, back on February the 26th, I came out with a video, huge warning for the crypto industry. SEC, Gary Gensler, reaction video. I did this whole video, and he's talking about all the exchanges. That was back on February 26th of 2022. Then I talked about Binance and the investigation back on June the 12th of 2022. On August the 24th, and this is 2021, right? I did this video on the crypto reset is coming. 70% of South Korea exchanges down, okay? They passed some laws, and it's affected the crypto exchanges. And I talked about how it was going to come here. I actually did 3 videos on this specifically because I was trying to show you guys what was happening in South Korea, that it could happen here, and is happening here to a certain extent. The South Korean regulations, which actually were really good for South Korea, it didn't have too much effect. But we saw what could come to here in the United States. So we talked about that. There's a lot of predictions that are made about cryptocurrency. It shouldn't have been a surprise. And then let's look at this Twitter post that I did back on November the 14th of 2022. And this is after the FTX debacle. And I said here on just a couple days ago, I said didn't need a prophecy to see what was coming with these exchanges. The Jerry Seinfeld and Kramer meme. It's about Gary Gensler and the SEC coming after everyone. Once again, this prediction end up being true, but it was also expected to as well. And one of the things is that, with everything that's going on right now, they're trying to stop the wealth transfer. They're trying to stop people in general from making money, because there's a lot of people that are involved in the crypto wealth transfer that aren't looking at the prophecies. They don't know anything about the prophecies. But there are people that are putting out cryptocurrency wealth transfers that have nothing to do with God. And all they're doing is stacking and saving. And yet people here have an issue if a prophecy doesn't come to pass in 6 months. And for the last several times that there's been the crypto wave, right, there are people that stacked for years and waited on that moment for it to happen. And it didn't have anything to do with God. It was just because they knew. And that's what we're doing here. But the main focus is to take your wealth and put it into the kingdom. Prophecy is supposed to be an additional tool used to navigate through this wealth transfer. Unfortunately, it's starting to turn into a pump and dump. And one of the things is that, the wealth transfer is not supposed to be this hard. Now, if you live outside the United States, you're having a great time because you can use multiple exchanges. You guys don't have any issues. But here in the United States and Canada, we're struggling. So people here in the United States have to put a little bit more effort into the wealth transfer. And you should always be prepared to move your crypto. You might have to move it from a ledger. Look what has happened to ledgers, right? You got Treasure and Ledger, and they both had security issues and other issues. Trust Wallet got hacked, or something happened with that. People need to first make sure that all their security is tight the best way they can. Make sure to spread out your investments. So if you have like 30 million Shiba Inu, well, I wouldn't have it just on one platform. We're here in the United States, we're complaining about the platforms, because most people are going to need platforms to cash out. So again, like here in the United States, we are having problems. Okay, we're very limited. We can't go after some of these coins unless you have like Metamask, and you can use Pancake swap or use any other kind of swap. So you have to dig in a little bit. And for most people, probably here in the United States, especially if they're not very computer savvy or computer literate, they're going to do the easiest things. And that's fine, because I've talked to people who have said, oh, I'm just going to use these couple platforms and I'm only buying these coins and I'm just going to wait. They're not hopping from coin to coin, right? They're just waiting for the time. Or nobody outside the United States has hardly had to move anything because of any issue with platforms, right? It's always been people here in the United States. So I just want to encourage those people who are from the United States or areas where there's heavy restrictions, just do what you can, but you have to take out the time to learn and go to the next step. And so there's going to be some people that are going to take the easy route, and that's fine because they want to take part of the wealth transfer. Not everybody has the same amount of time. Not everybody has the same amount of family members that they have to take care of. Not everybody has the same type of employment. Some people are working 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. They just want it simplified for them, right? And I think people need to understand that. A lot of people in the wealth transfers are buyers and holders, and they're not trying to swing trade. They're just trying to buy and stack and wait for their moment, right? So we got to consider that, and that's the other reason why we have to be careful as the wealth transfer, because we don't want to end up becoming a pump and dump group. Who knows what's going to happen with Binance or Binance US, and that just all remains to be seen, right? We're still waiting on some kind of bull run to happen before things change. Keep in mind also, too, folks, that the XRP case is still out there. Now, there's been prophetic words about that, and that it could go negative against XRP. And we've been preparing for that, folks, for well over a year. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you'll probably hear about it later on. Anyways, folks, that is all that I have for today. Thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.